Rashi saves souls. Haftarat Vayechi. This week's Haftarat takes me back to my early days as a Tanakh teacher. A more veteran teacher made a statement that upset me. The work Rashi did in his Torah commentary is amazing. It's harder to say the same about his commentary on Nevi'im and Ketuvim. Being upset, of course, doesn't really help. I found it emotionally difficult to agree, and I didn't know enough to argue, so I decided to do the only thing I could think of: learn. For your information, studying Rashi's commentary on Nevi'im and Ketuvim in depth is more complex than expected. Unlike Rashi's commentary on the Torah, where almost no traditional commentator begins interpreting without referring to him, not to mention dozens, if not hundreds, of commentators who wrote interpretations on his commentary itself, Rashi's commentary on Nevi'im and Ketuvim never achieved such status. There is no commentary on Rashi's understanding of Nevi'im and Ketuvim, let alone hundreds of them, and this fact alone could have been proof that my elderly colleague was onto something. However, it should be noted that there are also significantly fewer commentators who wrote about the text that Rashi is interpreting. Nevi'im and Ketuvim themselves did not merit the number of commentators that the Torah did, not even close. So it would be difficult to find the scarcity of commentators that deal with Rashi on Nach as proof of lesser quality work. How is this long and unfinished story related to the Haftarah? Simple. Our Haftarah provided me with the example that helped strengthen my belief that Rashi on Nach is the same Rashi as on the Torah, just less studied. Therefore, there's more room and need to expose the hidden preciseness in his commentary. After a long introduction, it's time to study the Haftarah. Our Haftarah reflects Yaakov's final words to his sons through David's final words to his son. David offers encouragement to Shlomo, reminds him to follow Hashem's ways, and commands him to close some unfinished business with people who could threaten or strengthen his kingdom, as they had done with David himself. David commands his son to embrace the sons of Barzillai Hagiladi and to eliminate Yoav, son of Tzuria, and Shim'i, son of Gera. The verses we'll focus on are those where David instructs Shlomo to deal with Yoav and Shim'i. At first glance, the instructions seem similar. Shlomo is wise, and he should end their lives wisely. This is how most commentators explain these verses. Although Rabbi Yosef Kara says that David wants to take revenge on both of them, and Ralbag claims that he wants them to serve as a warning to future offenders, the execution is for the benefit of the royal house. Rashi interprets differently. Rashi explains, "Do not let his gray head go down to Sheol in peace. Do not let him die a natural death and fall into Gehenom." According to Rashi, the execution isn't meant to benefit the kingdom, but to benefit the executed. If we allow him to die a natural death, the deceased will find himself in Gehenom, a result that David wants to prevent. Rabbi Yitzchak Abarbanel knows of such interpretation. He attributes it to the Christians and ignores the fact that Rashi also interprets this way, which might indicate either the limited circulation or status of Rashi's commentary on Nevi'im and Ketuvim. Imagine if a Torah commentator had ignored Rashi's interpretation and attributed it to Christian commentators without mentioning that the greatest Torah commentator had interpreted in the same way. The medieval press would have talked about nothing else but the terrible scandal. But it's worth noting 2 points that I believe guide Rashi in his interpretation. First, the words. Rashi notices a difference between David's instruction about Yoav and his words about Shim'i. Regarding Yoav, David says, "Do not let his gray head go down to Sheol in peace," whereas in Shim'i, David says, "Bring his gray head down to Sheol in blood." The first seeks to prevent a peaceful descent to Sheol, while the second hastens a descent to Sheol. David wants to save Yoav, his distinguished and army commander, nephew, and someone who acted for David's personal benefit and the strengthening of the kingdom, even if he didn't always agree with his methods. Shim'i, from the tribe of Binyamin, cursed him when he was at his lowest, when his son Avshalom tried to kill him and take his kingdom. Him, David wanted to bring down. Rashi also notices a strange order of the verses. First, David commands his son to kill Yoav, then to show kindness to the sons of Barzillai Giladi, and finally to kill Shimi. If I were drafting these matters, I would have grouped Yoav and Shimi together, since David wants to kill them both, and put the sons of Barzillai separately. According to Rashi's interpretation, however, the order makes sense. First, Yoav, whom David wanted to benefit eternally in the world to come. Then the sons of Barzillai, those David wished to reward in this world. And finally Shimi, the one David wanted to harm. Have I proven conclusively that Rashi's commentary on Nevi'im and Ketuvim rivals Rashi's commentary on the Torah? I don't think so. We've only scratched the surface, and I believe there's still a long way to go. But every journey begins with a small step, and maybe this small first step will lead to the long and interesting journey, mine or someone else's. In memory of my beloved and heroic student, Amichai Shimon ben Ishayim bat Yarubin Hashem Yikom Damo, Dovi Holtz, one who loves Tanakh.